Hello everyone and welcome to the part 2 of the Flutter WebView tutorial series. So in this part 2 we are going to be implementing the example 2 Flutter WebView implementation. So what are we going to be doing different between example 1 and example 2? So in this example 1, as you can see, when you first click, let me click this example 1 now. When you first click it, you can see it just showed the loading. We first see the loading, then the web page. Let's just give it some seconds. The web page trying to and the web page, as you can see, this is the web page. It takes some seconds to load self. So assuming we click another, let me just click here. Assuming we click on another button that will links to another page, when we click on installation, you can see the loading is in the background. We are not seeing any loading that will tell us that okay, this page is already loading. So in the example 2, that's what we are going to be doing. A display loading for every button the user clicks. You display loading and a refresh button as well. So for that, we are going to be using another package called Flutter in-app WebView. So you can check it out on pub.dev. So Flutter in-app WebView, we are going to be using this package. So to install it, you can read more about the package in their documentation. So let's just install it on our postspec and dive straight into the tutorial. So installation. Okay, so just copy this and paste it in your postspec. I already paste mine. So after pasting it, run flutter pubget in your terminal. So you can just run Flutter pubget. As you can see, I've already run my before starting the video. So Flutter pubget, and that's all. So now let's close this. I already have example 1. Let me change this URL to the one we are using before, openhouse.net. So now let's create another folder, another file for example 2. Okay, so in this example 2, we are going to be implementing the example 2 WebView. So let's import our material widget, and let's create a stateful widget. Let's call it web example 2. So inside this build widget, we are going to return a scaffold. Let's just return a scaffold. Let's clear. We are going to display an app bar. So our app bar will contain a title, just like the previous one. Title and a text. Name the text, the name of the website, compounds technologies. Okay, so let's just center and remove the elevation. Center title should be true and elevation should be 0. So now our body should be inside a container, because we want to view the loading indicator. So inside a container, we are going to have a column that will contain list of widgets. Okay, children. So that was that. Let me quickly try and import this into our button. So into our example 2 button, and then say navigator.push. Let's push then our material page route, then the builder, and the builder, then context. We don't need the so just a private variable. So this is the class name of our example 2 class name, and let's put a semicolon, and let's import the example 2 page as well. So just import. Let me close this. Okay, so the example 2 is example 2. Okay, that's that. Okay, so now that's that. Let's go to our example 2. So in our example 2 now, we are going to have a container that display, we are going to have a linear progress indicator that displays the loading whenever the web page is about to load. So first, let's declare a progress, a double progress. I need to a data type for progress, and that should be 0. So should be 0. So now in our column, we are going to use an if statement. So if this progress is less than 1.0, it should show a linear progress indicator. The value of the linear should be the value. Okay, the value over this, it accepts a double, so the value should be the progress, and after that after the value, then we can just change the color to something. The default color is blue, I think. So okay, let's leave this for now. Can just leave the color. So if the progress is less than 1.0, it should show the linear indicator, else it should just show a non-project. Maybe let's just return a center and nothing will be inside, and that's all. Okay, so under listings, we have returned a loading indicator there. We return so we return a expanded widget. Expanded is going to contain our in-app WebView widget. So let's return an in-app web view. Let's choose this. Then he also accept a URL. So the URL will be initial URL. It accepts a string, so the string should be the URL of the website. So you have to import the package we installed earlier, Flutter in app WebView. So if you have this icon, you just click on it and import the package, import library. So that's that. Initial URL. Is it initial URL? It should be initial URL, I think so. Okay, again, that's that. Okay, so let's just do this, and the URL of our website, outbounds.net. So then after that, to perform the loading, to show the loading, we are going to use another thread inside of this in-app WebView called on progress change. On progress change accepts an app WebView controller and an integer. So you can just do like this, and you can use what should we give it? You can just call it load and return the progress. We're going to set the state to so that the progress will be this loading. This loading is the one that counts from 0 or from 0 to 100. So if the progress is 0 to 100, that means the web page has load finished. So progress is equal to load divided by 100, and that's that. We are done with the loading. So now after this, we are going to need a controller for this in-app WebView. Let's just add the top here. Just declare controller in-app WebView controller. Okay, let's call it the WebView controller. Okay, so now under here we're going to call another child inside our in-app WebView called WebView created. He also accepts a controller. He only accepts a controller, so we're just going to name it controller, and our controller we declare will represent this controller. So WebView controller is equal to this controller, and that's that. So let's start the page now. Let's refresh. Okay, so I click on it now. You can see that's a loading indicator. It's loading. You can see that's the loading. Let's try and click on another page if the loading is going to show. Okay, so you can just okay, let's click on this, become a student. Okay, let's just close this. Let's close this again. Let's close and reopen this. Then you can see the loading indicator is showing. That's the loading we declare up here, the progress. So it's showing. So I just want to show you another cool stuff. So inside there we have another button. If we click on this button, it's going to show the loading so as to tell us that the page is loading up. So if you click, as you can see, the loading started again and started loading. So it loads up another page. So that's the beauty of this in-app WebView, this example 2. Okay, so that's that. And inside here we still have many other features that you can just try it for fun. For example, for Android users we have to enable JavaScript. You have to enable JavaScript. So to do that, we are going to do that through initial option. So we have initial options here, and in app WebView group options. So inside our app we are going to use this cross-platform, since we are doing it for both Android and iOS. But if you can specify for your Android and and URL separately. But for if they are both the same thing, you can just use the cross-platform. So we are going to be using the cross-platform here. So cross-platform, we accept in-app WebView options as well. In-app WebView options. So inside, let me just format the code. So inside our in-app WebView options, then we can have JavaScript enable. So set that to true, and there's another stuff. JavaScript can open windows automatically. We should set that also to true, and that's that. Do you want to what is debugging enable? Okay, I think we are done with that. So as we have set up that's the awesomeness. So now to implement the refresh icon here, let's just go to our bar and call the action and insert an icon button. Inside our icon button we have unpressed with first an empty function with an icons dot refresh. Is it refresh? Yes, okay, refresh. So inside our press, we are going to check if WebView, this controller is none. You should, if the controller is not none, you should reload the page. Else, if the controller is none, you should not reload the page. So just call okay. If this our controller, this one over here, let me just copy it. Okay, if this one is not equal to none, and just call the controller again dot reload the page, and that's all. So let's just refresh. You see the icon button now, the reload icon. So if you click on reload now, if you click on reload, you can see the loading start again. As you can see, we can't really see the loading, so let's just change the value column. Where is it? Okay, so here we have something else. Let's change the background color. We can change the background color to white and then once again value color. Can change the value color, and this value color accepts a animation color. So I said to there's a widget called always stopped animation. So always stop animation, the value. Okay, so the color, since we're only calling the color, then the value will be colors dot let's set it to green, and green in 800 boldness. Okay, I think that's good. So let's refresh. So let's reload our home page now. As you can see, this is the game, so we can view the web page properly. You can view the loading properly. Okay, so let's click it again. Let's try it out. As you can see, this is loading, and when the loading finishes loading, you can see the web page, and that's the beauty of this package. So in case you want to, there's another stuff you can still do. In case you want to be viewing the URL each page is, you can also view the URL. You can print out the URL. So to do that, let's just first declare a string that will take in the URLs. So string URLs, but empty string for now. So after that, under our WebView created, we are just going to call on this onload start onload. When the load starts, you should just the onload start takes in a controller and a string, so you can just declare it as a private stuff. Then the string, we want to name it URL. Okay, so I'm going to set the state of the string we declare above to the string that this onload start is collecting. So URLs equal to this particular URL. So the URLs we declare above is equal to this one. So equal to URL, and that's that. We can also print URLs now. So print URLs. Okay, so you can print out the URLs also. So there's another one, onload stop, onload stop. So it's just the same as this. So we can just get URL also, and we're going to set the state to something we have before, the string we have. So it's down to URLs. Okay, sorry, I forgot to put a comma here. URLs is equal to URL. URLs, this URLs is the string URL we declare here. You can see it's URLs. So the URL is equal to this URL that we are declaring here. So it's going to represent this. So let's just print the URL also here. So URLs, so for recognition, let's just write 0 here, and okay, and that's fine. We're good to go. So let's just refresh. Let's open up our console so as to view what we are seeing. Okay, so example 2, let's just click on it. Okay, onload stopped. Okay, so now let's take our console so you can get what I'm trying to do. So this is our onload start, and you can see this is the URL we are going, obands.net. That's the URL onload start that you can see. This is the onload start. So on onload stop is still the same URL because that is the exact URL we are still on. On onload stop, you can see I have this 0 inside my onload stop. Okay, so the same URL. So if you click on a button that navigates to another page, okay, so let me just try. Okay, so I click on learn more now. You can see the loading starts. Then our onload start to print the URL we are going. Onload start. Okay, you can see this is the URL the stuff is going. As you can see, the URL has changed. institute.obands.net now, not obands.net that we have before. So the URL has changed, and our onload stop to still the same. Institute. Where is it? Okay, this is our onload stop. Institute.obands.net. You can see they are the same thing. So if you want to use the URL for anything, that's how you can get the URL of the page the person is navigating to. Okay, so that's all for example 2. If you run into an error or just run into or you don't understand much about the series, I will encourage you to watch the part 1, because that's where we explain every step we are going to do throughout this series. So the link of the part 1 tutorial is in the description below, so kindly check it out. And that's all. Let's just try and restart and try the difference between example 1 and example 2. So we can end this video. Okay, so this is example 1, as you can see here. This is example 1. Let's click on example 1. You can see it has the loading, has this button. I think this also has a button navigation bar, but I don't really think so. 100 for on save %. Just I don't think it has a button navigation, but like this first one, okay, it does not have. So that's this one has a button navigation, the other does not. So this is the example 1. When you first load it, it just show up. You will click on a button now. I click on a button now. Okay, you will click on this button. No loading pop up for us to see that the web page is still loading, but the page will eventually load. So, and we can't refresh. There's no refresh here. So in the example 2, we have this. We have a loading indicator that indicates that the web page is loading, and a refresh button. And whenever we try to move to a different page, it also shows the loading indicator. I think that's awesome. It's still good. So on learn more, you can see it still shows the loading indicator. So if you refresh, you click on the refresh also, it's going to refresh the whole page and show the loading indicator as well. So I think that's that about that. That's the that's the end of the example 2 tutorial series. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, kindly do so and turn on the notification so you can receive updates whenever I upload the remaining series. So it still remains example 3 and example 4. So kindly subscribe, share with your friend, and have a lovely day. Lest I forget, the source code of the project is on my GitHub profile, so the description is in the link is in the description below. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.